two. I'm ridiculous. I know.
Uh, okay, why am I using I fucking hate trackpads. Why am I using that instead of the mouse?
You hate what? What did you say you hated? Where'd you go? Woman, huh? Come back. Well, everyone, if you're here and you're watching, Aurora was just here and we're about to start the podcast, but she disappeared. So you're gonna watch me primp and play with my beautiful hair for a minute. Okay. Oh, very good.
I don't know what's happening.
Hello, she's back. She's back. I went to the witch
Okay.
store yesterday. I was like really, really called to go to the witch store. And it's called Isis, by the way. Isis Books.
Nice.
And it's right up the street from my house, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna go there. And what I like about there, like I go in some witch stores and they will attempt to glamour the shit out of you to buy all the things. I don't know if
Right.
it's ever happened to you, but like I can tell when I'm being glamored. Like I get like woozy. It's like drunk. It's like being drunk. And I'm
Hmm.
like just kind of like tottering around the store, throwing all kind of shit in my basket I don't need. I'm like, man, you hoes are dirty around here. Anyway, so I go to the Switch store because they don't do that there. Yeah. Anyway, so I never had a traditional like Smith Waite tarot deck. I've always had weird ass tarot decks like Arthurian tarot and like just all kind of weird like spins on them. But I picked up this little deck and it's small. Look at it. See how small? Look at it's like regular cards. It's like regular cards. And I it's like a little pistol. It's really cool. Like they're really quick. They attune to me really fast. They're really precise and direct and loud. And I like
Nice.
that. Yeah. So we're just gonna like pull a card. Oh, judgment card. Okay, cool. Anyway, I was just bored. I just pulled them out because they're sitting right here while you disappeared.
I
'Cause I was like, I know she'll be
didn't see
back. I know she'll
it.
be back. Anyway, do I ever
Yeah, I
just
don't
want to
know
delete
why
my
I
whole
just
life? Shit, yes. A lot of times. Usually around the time of the new moon, and here we are around the time of the new moon. Or when I feel
Mhm.
like that's a really it can be frustrating and it can be uh challenging, like a feeling to deal with, but it means that something huge is coming in. It feels like something, I mean, it means that something that you can feel something coming in for you that is huge. And you kind of like nesting when you're having a baby, you feel the need to like prepare the space, you know? Yeah. I did it the other
Right.
day. I had
No,
5 years of
seriously,
Muggle job email. I
I want to
erased every
I
single
want to
one.
wipe my entire computer. I want to wipe my entire phone.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I've thrown phones out the window,
Right.
I mean, out of my sunroof before.
Yeah.
Just be zooming down the road, sis, just boop, just throw that shit right out the sunroof. I mean, I didn't understand things like I understand them now. Like, okay, you could really just delete all the people who you don't need anymore. You can just delete their contacts out as like an energetic offering, right? You don't have to but yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I want to wipe the entire thing. Like I want to empty out all my storage spaces so I have all brand new storage space, get rid of like yeah, but at the same time like I get so sad when I don't get certain memories and I because I love Google Memories. Google Memories makes me so happy. Like they will play around with all of my photos and remind me of things that have happened and just I don't know. They give me little glimmers. However, like I don't even like associate with half the people that it come up in my memories. And like I'll send it to them and be like, "Oh, just saying hi. Like you came up in my memories today." And they love it. So I mean, it keeps me connected to people, but at the same time, like there's just no point, and I just want more room. I need
Yeah.
more room.
Maybe you don't need to be connected to them anymore. You know, maybe it's like a
Yeah.
cord cutting. I use it like that. Like when I delete people, I do it like probably every 2 months, 3 months. I go through my contacts, and if you hadn't text me, and my son is even not immune to this shit. Like, look, little boy, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you don't text me in 2 months. Like,
Right.
I ain't got nothing for you. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like it's time. It's definitely due time for that. You know, it's sort of like a tilling of the soil. And here we
You cut
are.
out.
Oh, I said I feel like it's kind of due time as far as nature goes for that, you know? It's like a hello boy. Hello boy. What doing, magic eyes? Magic eyes man? And you're frozen, but that's okay. 'Cause you know, just love you. Oh, he can't hear me because I'm in your headphones. Derp. Hey, Odin.
You're frozen
He.
too.
That child is so serious.
Yeah, you're frozen.
I'm still frozen. I'm not frozen over here. Am I back? Am I back?
Am I
Am I?
frozen?
Nope. Am I
Yeah, you're
back?
back now.
Okay, that
Yeah.
was weird because I'm not frozen over here. No. Yeah.
It's just lagging a lot. I don't my service says that I have full service, which is weird because I don't think that I do, but whatever.
Well, let's just proceed. And then if it's, jacking up the recording, then we'll just pause and let it pass or what have you.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Are you ready to do our introductions for this week? I never know what I'm going to say. It's
Hmm.
so fucking
Sure.
annoying. Okay. Hold on. Hi, my name is Jess, and this is Cosmic Jelly. I'm here with my co-host today, and so excited to share my alignment and connection to the divine with the world. Period. Okay, your turn.
Thank you, Jess. Hi, guys. I'm Aurora Rising, and I am here with Cosmic Jelly. and excited to see what comes up today. Have you gotten any like feedback or have you gotten any like questions or anything from
Not
people that they want to hear
questions,
about?
but my guy Giuliano loves us. We love you, Giuliano. Thanks for listening every
Nice.
Friday. Every Friday. Every Friday. He's on it. Love him so much. He
That's
did he
that's
did say that
awesome.
he prefers the video. He likes to watch us on YouTube. So yeah.
Nice. Well, I hope that this video works out then because yeah. Uh, but yeah, I haven't gotten any feedback. So hey, listeners, feedback. We want feedback. We want questions.
Yeah.
Give us
Definite
topics.
questions.
I mean we have topics for days, but we want to know what our listeners want to talk
Exactly.
about. So, anyways,
Or if like you guys need any guidance or direction. I know there's like a kind of significantly long turnaround time, but just hit us up. And I know like I'm personally am open to all types of spirituality and transformational conversations in my DMs on my socials. So if you have the questions, hit us up. We don't mind. Yeah. And I know, I think Aurora, well, by the time this comes out, it's going to be a moot point, but Aurora is doing $20 readings all week this week, the week of March the 12th.
yeah.
Yep, yep. And my books are open for Reiki,
Okay, yeah, you just
energetic
keep freezing.
healing through May. So, yeah, check us out. So, I noticed that you had posted. I saw your TikTok where you're doing your nails. They look amazing, by the way. Love them.
I'm gonna see if I can use my hotspot and that will help.
Okay. Yeah, your video's frozen on this end. Not your audio, but your video is frozen. Also, Matt Lee, thanks for the advice for the microphone. I'm really loving the sound here. So, you guys need a sound man in Denver. My guy Matt Lee is your boy. He's freaking brilliant. Hey, there she is. Hey, hey.
My stuff went, my connection died. So I hooked it up to my mobile hotspot. So hopefully that will work
Hey.
better. So, anyways, here we go. Need to hit record again.
I should still be recording. Yeah, we are still recording and we are still live on YouTube. Okay, so your audio is really like it's like there's a huge lag with it. And your video is freezing intermittently as well. I think it's probably just because you're changing over. So let's see.
All right, so how was your
Okay, so
week?
you're still breaking up on audio. I feel like the first option was probably a little better than this one. Gene Key 36 is in transit this week. shadow of turbulence, gift of humanity, and city of compassion. Don't know if any of my listeners are down with the Gene Keys or human design, but stick with me, baby, and you will be, because it's fascinating. If you've ever felt lost, if you've ever felt like you didn't know your purpose, or if you felt the way that you expressed yourself in life was quote unquote wrong, um, or you had instances in your life where you kind of felt like, why am I like this? Why am I like this? Human design will let you know. Yeah, I work with Christine Ing. She's amazing. And even if you, I mean, she has a human design map that she does like a reading, but even if you don't get the map, sign up for her email list. Her emails are amazing and they come through at like 7 every morning when I'm eating my breakfast, and it's just uh, perfect. Aurora, are you
Okay,
okay?
is that where
I'm just talking.
let's see if you're just talking, just randomly talking.
I'm just
I love it.
I'm
Okay,
extrapolating on the brilliance of human design and Gene Keys over
this
here.
works better.
Yeah. Okay. It's better now.
I can have some light. Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna have to sit on my bed.
Oh, is that where you get the best service? Man, I miss living in the
Apparently.
country, but sometimes I don't miss living in the country. You know? Like
Right?
I totally feel you. Where I used to live, I could have service in the kitchen only. You can't you can't go in the living room, you can't go in the bedroom. You gotta stay in the kitchen if you want to be on the phone. So yeah, I totally understand you,
Right.
man.
Okay.
But
Let's
you're
get
all
comfy.
cozy, getting cozy. Yeah.
No, I really wanted to wake up early today and like get myself together and
Same.
then go to my parents' house and like record over there. But that didn't happen. Oh,
It's really okay, because it all
one
is what it's
day I'll
supposed
be
to
able
be.
to, right? One day I'll have my shit together. Uh, But anyways, okay. Now hopefully we don't have any more issues.
I feel like we all have our shit together. It's just like the world and society that presents a one definition of how we're supposed to exist that makes us feel like we don't have our shit together, you know?
Well, I'm talking more as far as like the person that I want to be. Like I wrote down like for this week the stuff that I want to focus on, and it's basically like what does she look like? You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
my kind of like what we did back when the Icon Accelerator started.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, just like okay, what does woman that I want to be? What does she look like? What is her schedule like? What is she doing on a regular basis? And so like that's kind of like the stuff that I wrote down of like this is what I want to do. Now to actually incorporate that and do it is whole other story. Because that requires me to not want to sleep. And these days I really like sleeping.
It requires a lot of discipline, yeah. And discipline and ease are not two concepts that flow together seamlessly, right? It can be done. Like we always want
Hmm.
ease in our life. We always, of course, who doesn't, But then there are some instances like that, and I gotta say, like I'm very familiar with this subject because I pulled myself out of the primordial mud of a lackluster, meaningless existence by creating exactly what you're talking about, the schedule of the woman that I want to be, the skincare routine of the woman I want to be, the dinner, of the woman that I want to be, just over and over again. And it really takes being absolutely relentless. You have to just have this like relentless attitude about it, not necessarily make it hard or not be kind or compassionate to yourself and others, but it's you really got to stay on top of it. I would actually go as far as to say that it needs to be your whole soul focus in life is to create the frequency of who and what you desire to be in this world. And if that sounds a little preposterous, well, I challenge you by saying, you know what else sounds preposterous? Is living an existence that you're not absolutely, completely obsessed and in love with every single freaking day, man. Because, yeah, it can be done. I remember 10 years ago, I would have like maybe one or two or maybe even three good days out of a month where I really felt alive and embodied like by what and who I was supposed to be. And now that I committed myself to my spiritual um growth and my healing journey and to literally step into the place of this is all there is for me. This is literally all there is for me. Creating and being the most embodied, highest version of who I am and what I want to be. That's all there is for me. And that is the key to creating the cornerstone of a magnificent life change. When you can go in and say, like, okay, this is what I want my life to be. And then you start making those small little changes every day. That, that is magic. That is miracle. That is miracles right there. Hello.
No, screw it. I'm gonna have to just do it from my phone right now. My computer just doesn't want to work. So
Okay. No problem.
okay. So I walked in on miracles.
I was talking about how creating these borders and these definitions for how we want our life to be defined and how we want to experience our life are literally the key to creating the cornerstone to a miracle, to a life change. Because what you do when you say every day, okay, I'm going to be this woman, and this is what she eats for breakfast, and this is what she's going to do, and this is her posture, and, this is how she puts on her socks, and just really feeling that, feeling that every single day. And like I should fucking know because I'm literally did this while working at one of the lowest frequency containers that you can imagine, fast food. Well, it's fast casual, but a restaurant is one of the lowest vibrational frequency hotspots that you can experience, which is no wonder to me why chefs and servers and bartenders were all magicians, all of them. And like I literally wrote a book
Right.
about it. Um, but yeah, when you have people that can navigate and dance in that world, and then come back out. But anyway, yeah. So what are some of the things that you've been doing that you consider to be an up level act?
No, what do I consider? I'm writing it down. The first step. Telling myself what I want to do. Um, And that's because I just wrote it down 2 nights ago.
Cool.
Um, and I mean that's just for like this next phase. Like this happen this I do this regularly. I do this often. Um, the last time, the last time was just allowing myself to like be in the place that I want to be in because it's the first time that I've had a home that I felt safe in and like a place that I just felt like was my sanctuary and I didn't have a problem being home. I didn't have a problem being here. So I've kind of just allowed myself to be in that space and to really like relish in that. So now it's kind of I've got to do that for a while and I've got to feel um feel that security that I've created for myself and yeah, I've just got to be in it. So now it's time to start moving on into the next phase and more purpose driven. And I don't really know what that looks like yet.
Cool. Yeah, I pulled myself out of a really bad place with making us doing what you're talking about, like, making a list of the embodiment of what I wanted to be. So at first, I wanted to be this fucking spiritual baddie that literally walks her fucking talk all day, every day. And that's what the fuck I am. And I'll fucking stand on that shit. Stand on business with that. But the
Mm-hmm.
way I did it, I used to just be like so emotional and caught up in like the drama and like, what does this person think of me? And da 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 da. And the way I did that was I was like, okay, so what does a spiritual badass chick do every day? And I still do it to this day. I wake up, I get my coffee, I meditate, I do Reiki on myself, I journal an astrological journal, and I journal in a setting intentions for the day journal. I do Qigong. I fucking, like I do all this stuff. And it wasn't like I never did that so I could like pretend I was that person. I did that because that was part of the becoming of that person. So that goes for everybody out there. If you think like, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do three action steps daily. Three little small things. It could
Mm-hmm.
be something as simple as, well, the kind of person I want to be puts their phone on silent at night. Then that's
Yep.
what you do. I
Yep.
haven't had my phone on my phone has never made a noise. I
Mm-hmm.
literally have had it on silent for like 5 years. It cracks me up. Anyway,
Mine goes into do not disturb at 9 o'clock every night.
yeah.
Yeah. I started doing that last year because I will give myself to people after
Hmm.
9 o'clock and then
Hmm.
I won't go to bed until 5 o'clock in the morning. And I already have that issue in the first place.
Yeah.
I'd rather be spending that time though on me and whatever I need to do. But it was kind of funny because it would always be after like 9, 10 o'clock that is when people
Hmm.
would need my time. And it's like, why why can't you text me in the daytime? Like why can't you need me in like the daytime? No, now you've probably been drinking,
That's right. I was gonna
you've
say it's
sent
late and
yourself
they're
into a
alone.
hole
Mhm.
and you need somebody to distract you and pull you out
Exactly.
of your hole. Well, guess
Exactly.
what? I'm no longer that
I
person.
ain't the
So,
one. I ain't the one, homie.
yep.
Yeah. No, mine was like, I in a struggle to prove my worth to myself, I had just given everything to my business, like to my restaurant. I had given everything to it, and it was to the point where I got a visceral reaction when my phone would go off. I'd be like, just immediate panic, and I started to realize that like I'm always available for these people, like always, and that's just not not it. And that's when I started pulling myself away from muggle life and, your typical structure of how your existence is supposed to look, I guess, right? But yeah, that's when
Hmm.
I started pulling myself out of that. And I was like, nope, no more, no more. So, like, my thing is, I have my smartwatch, and my smartwatch makes this tiny little noise when my phone rings. It's like ding, 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 ding. It's so subtle and so quiet. And that's it, like if I choose to be available to talk on the phone, I'll have my watch on. When I take my watch off at 5 p.m., usually when I get home, that's it. That's it. You better catch me. You better catch me while I'm clocked in for you because if I'm not, shit. No, no.
Right.
Not touching that phone. And that really just setting that one boundary, you know? Like I feel like sometimes it feels like so insurmountable of a challenge to change your whole freaking life. But just that little bitty change, just something small like that, something as simple as silencing your phone can allow like these boundaries to
Hmm.
basically build themselves, you know? Like
Yeah,
you do something like that and say, this is the person I want to be now. This is what I'm choosing. And then life is going to hand you all these obstacles or opportunities depending on how you see it. You choose it as an opportunity, it's reinforcing another brick in your boundary of your new container. And you just keep
absolutely.
going, and then boom, magic, new life.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's where I first started placing my boundaries when I mean, because I didn't even have a phone for a year when I was in Costa Rica. I didn't even
Same.
have that stuff. So yeah, when I got home and got back to like living in the world, um yeah, I immediately got sucked into the constant like being able to be gotten a hold of
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff because and well and when I was in Costa Rica too, like I definitely found a new appreciation for technology and for phones because yes, it is nice to be able to get a hold of people when you need to, and
Hmm.
yes, it is nice to know that someone's alive. um so I yeah, when I got my phone, like went through a couple days of like, wow, I have a phone and everyone can get a hold of me anytime. Uh, and of course, I grew up in the time where no, people had to like go to your house to come and see you if they wanted to see you.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't just call you or text you. Like they literally had to get up and go. So, and that's how it was down in Costa Rica too. If somebody wanted to see me, they would have to come to my tent. They would have to come and find me. So, yeah, getting back here, that was like one of the first things that I had to do was like, no, I'm going to start putting my phone on silent. I'm going to start doing a do not disturb because I will stay up talking to this person and waste my energy and then be hungover for the next like 3 days because I have an energetic hangover because they
Yeah.
just completely drained me of everything that I had.
Oh God,
And
this is
I,
insane because it's like I have the portal wound to this. Like I had a phone when I was homeless, but nobody wanted to talk to me. I was completely ostracized and just basically cut off from everything and everyone I'd ever known. I wasn't performing to their standards or what they wanted from me. So they didn't want to talk to me, you know? And that fucking pain was like, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. To like
well,
have
no,
it.
I wasn't homeless at this time. I was at home. This was when I got home.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, same thing. Like, I had a phone when I was homeless, but nobody wanted to talk to me. And then, like, I didn't even, I had, intentionally wiped all trace of me from online. Like, when I went to actually get a phone to pass the credit check, they couldn't find me. I had to tell them, like, manually what address to type in. Like that's how
Mm.
far back I wiped it. I was like, go back to my childhood address. You'll find me. And they did, which I was pretty proud of myself for that. I was like completely wiped all trace of me off the internet. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just don't use a phone for like 3 years. Yeah, it's not fun. But yeah, I did have a burner, but nobody, like I said, nobody wanted to talk to me. So like like instead of like I'm getting this vision of like you pushing and then I'm like pulling, and either way, you're not just like letting it flow, if you're not just like letting it flow, then it's not really gonna do much for you,
Right.
phone or not.
I don't know how much people actually wanted to talk to me or talk at me, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's I definitely am uh more healthy with myself, and like I don't know, I like myself a lot better
Mhm.
since I created those different boundaries and those ways to kind of like let people know like, hey, who I used to be, she no longer is. Like you're gonna have to go through some steps now in order to get to me. And if you want to do the work, then cool. But if you don't want to do the work, then peace.
You ever had anyone react violently and angrily because of that? Because I have, and that's
Oh
why I'm
yeah.
asking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really a
Okay,
mind
so
scrambler, because it's
Mom, I
like,
love you. If you watch this, I'm sorry, but I'm
you
totally
love
gonna
you,
tell the
Mom.
story about when
Yeah.
the first time when I created boundaries with my mom. And let me tell you, like my mom and I's relationship is extremely colorful. Let's just say that. It's very colorful. We are now, she's my best friend. I absolutely love her and I see her every day. I talk to her almost every day. It's weird if I don't talk to her in like 3 days. But anyways, the first time that I set a boundary with my mom, uh, I came home and I had been caring for her. Like this is after I got back from Costa Rica. Ooh, yep. It's starting to break up. So this is
No,
gonna be a fun
let's
story.
do it. Let's do it.
So yeah, I had been caretaking for her and like the way that my mom is, she wants things the way she wants them, but sometimes she has a very hard time vocalizing that and like speaking about what it is that she wants. She kind of just wants people to read her mind almost. And yeah. Well, when I was caretaking for her, like she had written a list of things that she wanted me to do that day. Well, that list is long gone because it's a couple months later, and I'm not doing the things that she wants me to do because she hasn't told me what she wanted me to do. And at this time, I was also kind of getting like on a high horse, and I was just like, no, I'm not just gonna. If you want me to do something, I want you to use your words. So I was like trying to teach her a lesson. I'm a stubborn asshole sometimes. But anyways, like, yeah, I wanted her to actually speak to me and like tell me what she wanted me to do. Cause she would wake up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and she knew I wasn't gonna be out of bed until 10 o'clock. But she would get up at like 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever time it is that she wakes up. And she wakes up early. Old people do that. And I'm gonna say old people because if she watches this, it's just I love it. Um yeah. So I was kind of like in this place of like trying to teach her like use your words, tell me what you want. She wasn't having it. So long story short, I'm no longer working for her and I'm no longer living with her because it just wasn't working out. So she gets a brand new caretaker and I come home. I have an art show that I'm getting ready for, and I'm looking for all my paintings, and I'm missing one single painting. And I didn't know where it was. And my mom's like, it's in the craft, or it's in my craft room. It's kind of over behind this place and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. So I went over and looked. Like it was like in a place that you would literally have to be looking for it. Like it's not just out in the open or anything. And my mom really likes my stuff. Like she wants all of my stuff to herself. And it's precious because she's my biggest fan. So I understand that now. Uh but yeah, I don't want to listen to the explanation. I don't want to listen to the justification. I don't want to hear all these things of why she took that painting and hung it up. And yeah, none of the other ones. So she tries to start like explaining to me why she took it and why she put it in there. And I was like, Mom, it's fine. I just wanted to know that it was safe and sound. She was like, no, you're going to listen to me. And I was like, Mom, I don't need to hear anything. Like, I have that painting set aside for someone, and I just wanted to know that it was here and it was safe. And so I get ready, I turn around and I start walking up the stairs. And all of a sudden she's just like, no, you're gonna stop and you're gonna listen to me. And I turned around and I was like, what? Uh-uh. So I start walking back up the stairs and I just completely, yeah, just basically ignore it. And she does not handle this very well at all. Well, energetically, I could literally feel the cord break. And it was like the most magical time in my life because it was finally that toxic thread that was sewn together between us, like had finally just completely split apart. Which was like probably the most beautiful thing that could ever happen to us because now we can actually communicate with each other. We have boundaries with each other. We love each other like unconditionally rather than conditionally. And yeah, it's just a completely different dynamic now than what it was before. And it was that one single moment of me like understanding what she's trying to do. She's trying to justify why she took one of my paintings and put it in her room, thinking that like whatever, who cares? She's got like 50 of them. Not knowing that this was a particular painting that I had set aside for someone else and everything. So like her justifications, her reasons for everything, like they just didn't mean anything to me. Like I just didn't care. And like I, yeah, just completely separated myself from the need to know of why my mom's doing what the fuck she's doing. Um and her need for me to basically just like still be trapped in that space of just like allowing her to have whatever control that she did have over me. And like, because like if yeah, it was just bad. Like mom was my probably like my biggest karmic like release and lesson that I had to go through.
I think for every
And
divine feminine, it's always a mother wound. There's
yeah,
always a mother wound we got to get through. It's just a rite of
one,
passage.
but I'm just grateful because like from the stories that I've heard, most people don't ever mend that relationship. Like
I haven't.
they keep it as a
Mhm.
closed off. Like like there was so much toxicity
Yeah.
that they like weren't able to reconcile from that. But
Yeah.
I've always been a people pleaser and I've always been a forgiving person. So, and it also came to a point where I was just like, do I seriously have to cut my mom out of my life and
Yeah.
like just not have my mom? And that's where it was going for a while. And I hated it. I was just like, I don't want that. Like, why can't I just like deal with her bullshit? Can I just deal with her bullshit and
No.
tolerate this? And and yeah, that's where I was going. Like I was just going to this place of like, all right, I'm just going to tolerate it because I have to do this. And then maybe, when I have myself settled and established, then I can remove her from my life. But for now I can't do that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so like I continued to make excuses for her because that's all I knew was her making excuses for herself for doing whatever she was doing.
Mhm.
But that day, like I like had enough, and like I I know that I was probably not in like the, most uh
Graceful,
spiritually aligned, I
compassionate.
guess, or the
Yeah.
most graceful with it, but it was exactly what I had to do in order to just basically stand up for myself and just like, you are yelling at me because like you're pissed at me and you're freaking out because you don't want me to listen to why you took one of my paintings and like basically like hid it in your room. Like I don't need to hear these things. I don't, it's just pointless. And it's either going to make me even more annoyed at you, or it's going to like, and I was in a good mood at that point too. So I was like, I don't want to go into a bad mood. I don't want to, I don't want to have to deal with all this negative shit. So as I'm just walking, and she was not having it. Normally I would have ran back down and like appeased her, but I didn't. And like it literally just like severed this like negative attachment that we had with each other. And like, and her new caretaker is just like sitting there like, what am I, what did I get myself into?
Right. What did I sign
And
up for?
right. Well, and it's really funny too because like this lady that she had for her caretaker, like she ended up teaching my mom a lot of lessons, and my mom got to finally like see her own reflection and like see like, where she needed to kind of like, yeah, like you can't be upset with somebody because they're not doing this if they have no idea that you want them to even be doing this.
Yeah.
And you can't be upset with somebody if you've already done all the work and they're not doing it. You've already done it. So why should they?
Yeah.
You know? Um,
Mine was
and
like a mirror portal with my mom because my mom is who I learned my codependency from, right?
mhm, yep, me
And
too.
then we got into this situation where I challenged her, like, why did you let me be abused my whole childhood? And she stopped speaking to me. And she just couldn't handle that. Like I was like, I just want to answer, like what happened, what was going through your freaking head, Um, and then I was on a very self-destructive path at the time. And I just kept self-destructing. And I figured it out. The reason that I kept self-destructing was that I wanted her to swoop in and save me like she never did. Right?
Yep,
Like
yep,
that whole time when I was a kid and like I needed her and like she's right there, but I'm literally emotionally, physically, and mentally abandoned. I just like, can't you tell I need your help? Like you're my mom. Please help me. And
yeah,
when my words didn't work, it was like my actions. Like I'm gonna show you how fucked up my life can get because I need your fucking help, right? But but whoops, I turned my mic off on accident. But what ended up happening, that's resistance right there for me. Like, finally clearing this out and talking about it, right? Um, what happened was she was like, I can't help you. I don't have the resources to help you. I don't have the desire to help you. And that's the last thing I remember her ever saying to me. And
no,
even though it was excruciating to face that, like your own
right,
mother doesn't want shit to do with you, it's literally okay
yeah,
because when she made that decision, she healed herself from codependency. And in
nice,
doing so, since I am her lineage, she also healed me, right? So, or at least set me on the trajectory to healing
right,
myself.
yeah,
So, yeah, that's how I choose to look at it because in my life and in my mind, there's no action, there's nothing that happens that isn't done for me to grow
yeah,
and for
yeah,
me to ascend and keep going, be on a higher timeline, higher timeline, higher timeline. So yeah. My mom never really got mad at me though, but I did have a friend who I had been friends with since I graduated high school, and he and I were very close. I took his virginity. He's gay now, but I was like the first person to sleep with him. He is my son's godfather. Like I'm just telling you like all this to say like it's not like it's just a random person I knew. And I went through a lot of BS, and I told him, he kept bringing it up. And I was like, hey, we're in his car. He moved to Denver after I left the South. And so we're in his car and he's taking me to work or something. And he keeps bringing this thing up. And I was like, look, we're not going to talk about that anymore. Like that's just a boundary I have to have. Like, we can't talk about that anymore. And literally the next word out of his mouth was the same thing. I stop the car. I get out of the car, I get an Uber and go on about my business. And I'm serious about my boundaries, right? So I don't talk to him anymore. And he at first I would block him on stuff, but I'm like, why should I have to go run around blocking this dude on all these platforms? So like he'll pop up um in my tech, well, I blocked him on my phone, and then he'll get like a WhatsApp number, and call me from that. Like, are you still mad at me? Yes, I'm not mad at you, but like I made a boundary, you crossed my boundary, and the penalty for crossing my boundary is lack of my presence in your life. And I know that hurts, but it's literally basically the same thing my mom did to me. There's a freaking cycle for you.
Mhm.
Like, yeah. But he got so angry, like angry to the point of I was almost afraid. He doesn't know my address, but I was like, if he finds out my address, he's gonna show up at my house, you know? Yeah. So I've had people react very negatively from me telling them like, hey, this is my boundary and this is you broke it, you know?
Yep.
So if anything, it didn't make me afraid of setting boundaries. It gave me fuel. Like, hey, this is really effective, what you're doing. Like it's working. So keep going, And
Right.
he's in my DMs constantly, all the time. He'll pop up, oh, you fucking bitch. You think you're better than everybody. Like, no, no, that's actually not it.
He
You
still
know?
pops in your DMs doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Fucking block that shit.
yeah. Why should I have to block it? That's what I'm saying. Like, why
Because
should
that
I have to?
motherfucker is sending you evil eye.
Right. But like, it's
Block
like,
that shit. Just get that fucking energy out of there. Ugh.
well, to
I
me,
would,
his energy's not here in the first place because I won't allow it to be. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, I don't
yeah,
allow his energy, his his presence or anything like that into my life anymore. It's basically like a what can you do for me presence. Like
right,
how can you help me? Like and it was always like I need to borrow $50 or I need this or I need that. I need you to do it. Like, no, bro. No. And he was the weed man in our town for a long time. And I think that kind of set the precedent of like something to do with it. Like everybody always come to him like they're not gonna try and piss him off. They're not gonna tell him no. Because he's the weed man, because they want weed.
right.
Look, I got a whole ass dispensary across the street. I don't, I don't need your weed man. Anyway, yeah, yeah. But it was a really effective marker, I feel like, in knowing that I was actually making a difference in my life, you know, to have people react that aggressively toward me, saying, no, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. No, you crossed my boundary. That's it, period. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, cray, cray.
yeah.
And I think a lot of it's like
People are funny.
the feminine too, like being in my feminine, like not trying to make this connection happen, like
Right? Not
solely.
chasing, not like running after.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think I have fucked with people over the last year with that, like not being this chaser, not being this like person. Because I used to be the wooer. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
100% woo my people
Mm-hmm.
and like make them fall in love with me
Mm-hmm.
and whatever. Nope, I don't do anything now. And I think it really fucks with people because I think that's kind of what masculines are used to, though, honestly. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like they they don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to put in the pursuance, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of it though has to do with how many mommy like issues there are when it comes to
So
boys.
many. But then a lot of it too is the way our society is. Because when you think about it, since the 50s, there's been that trend of, oh, you need to grow up and marry a nice man and have some kids, you know? So it has us all competing for a quote unquote high value male. And that's where I feel like the woo is coming in, right? Like we are trying to catch or we're trying to obtain this person that we think is going to be quote unquote what we need, you know?
Right.
Like my ex-husband
Yeah.
was like that. I wooed him and because he was so great on paper. Surprise, closet narcissist. Huge, huge, huge. I'm talking Marine Special Forces level narcissist, and that is literal. Okay? Like, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no,
But
now it's come to the point where, like, if I am interested in someone, I'm just gonna sit back and let spirit do their thing. Like,
yeah.
if they are supposed to be with me, spirit's gonna let them know. And I 100% believe that the person that is supposed to be with me is going to be, like, connected enough that they can hear that, like, hey, you should check out Aurora. Like, you two are, you know, you got something here. Like I 100% believe that that man will.
I 100% believe that he will just like appear, like walk up to me and just appear. And there's not gonna, like, we'll just know, we'll just psychically know, right? Like, you coming upstairs, like, it's almost dinner time or whatever, like it's just gonna be so easy and just be so in flow because I know that everything I've had up until this point is not correct for me. And everything that I will have after this point is exactly what I'm supposed to have, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I definitely think that everything even coming up to like the last guy that like I had kind of started seeing. Like when I started recognizing the complete red flags of like, okay, so he needs me to be the one telling him to contact me. He needs me to be the one telling him to come over. He needs me to be the one to do all these things so that he knows that it's okay to come after me. Like, no, that's not what I want. And so I had this conversation with him and I told him, I was just like, I was like, you just aren't consistent enough for me. And he's like, well, what do you mean consistent? And I said, like, if you want me, because he asked me to go out to dinner with him. And like the night that he had asked me, I had a bunch of stuff that I was doing, so it wasn't going to happen. And he was like, okay, well, what about tomorrow night? And I was just like, I have NA and I have my life that you know about. Like,
mhm.
you know my schedule, you know my days, and you know what's important to me, especially NA. Like that's, like that is my number one priority. And he was going to NA as well, just not as often. And like I told him, I was like, okay, so here's the thing. If you want to be with me, I need you to be an active part of my recovery. And that includes like being a part of Ripple Effect. Like this is, you know, really important to me, and I need you to be there. Even if it's not every single meeting, that's fine, but I need you to at least make an effort to want to be a part of that. You know, like I want to be a part of your recovery. I want you to be a part of my recovery. And if you can't do that, then maybe I'm just not for you. But then I also told him, I was just like, you know, why should I want to go to dinner with you? And he was just like, well, what do you, because I think that you like to go out on dates. And I'm like, well, every girl wants to go out on a date, but no, like, why do you want me to go with you? Like, you don't talk to me between meetings, you know what I mean? Like, I hang out with you this night and then I don't hang out with you for a week, but that entire week you're not talking to me. So why, like, where are you making me want to want you? Like, you're not. And he's just like, well, I've done, you know, I thought that I've done these different things that would make you, you know, like I thought that I've done these things. Like he helped me bring up my groceries or
That's
whenever
what the
he,
fuck you're supposed to do, homie.
well,
Like,
no,
that's what the
I specifically called him up
like,
when I was
groceries aren't
returning
special. You're
from
supposed to carry heavy shit. What the hell?
when I was returning from Boise with a ton of groceries. I have like treacherous stairs.
Mhm.
They're horrible. And it takes me like an hour to bring up my groceries because they're horrible. But anyway, so I called him and I was like, hey, will you help me bring up my groceries? My mom is asking me to not do it by myself. And he was just like, yeah, of course. And so he came over and he helped me with my groceries. And, um, but on top of that, like if he would come over and if it had snowed, like he would shovel off my steps.
That's what he's supposed to do.
Right. So in his mind, because he had done those couple of things,
He's
and like
special.
when he's here, he'll, you know, like instead of me having to get up and go put my cup away, he'll grab my cup and he'll go put it in the sink. You know what I mean? So there's these acts of service that he would do whenever he was around, which I absolutely loved. And I told him, I was just like, I'm not used to somebody doing this, and so I absolutely appreciate it. I love it. But him, in his mind, he thought that that was enough. He thought that that was like everything that should make me want him. And I'm like, no, you gotta like engage me in the in-between times. Like even
I feel
just
like it's like a baby
one message.
narcissist. He's like a little baby.
Huh?
I feel like he's like a baby narcissist. You know
Well,
what I
I mean,
mean? Like,
he did admit one time when I had to stop him because he kind of, we got into a bit of an argument, and like he got up to go just leave, and I was like, are
yeah,
you just leaving? Are you
the
literally just
narcissist.
walking out? And he was like, well, yeah. He was like, I feel like I'm just like pissing you off and making you mad. And I was like, okay, walking out the door and leaving, that's gonna piss me off. And I was like, that is not acceptable in my world.
It's
Like, you
giving like
don't just
chase
get
me,
up and
chase me,
leave.
chase me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that
and
is like narcissist type shit, right?
exactly. And he doesn't, but he wasn't aware of any of these things. He's literally just acting out of learned behavior. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't recognize that this is not healthy behavior. He doesn't recognize that this is toxic. But I'm
Right.
teaching him, I'm telling him, I'm like, no, like, this is not okay. And then, yeah, when I
This is just what
told
I
him,
do. This is just how
yeah,
I am.
when he had asked me to go to dinner for with him and stuff, and I'm telling him that like I need to know why you want to take me, like he's just like, well, why, like can I just tell you at dinner? What if this conversation literally has to
Why?
do
So
with
you
my
can Google
answer on
it?
whether,
No, tell me
right,
now.
like if you can't tell me the things that I need you to tell me, I'm probably not going to go to dinner with you. Like that's my thoughts at that time. And so I told him, I was just like, what if this conversation is what depends on whether or not like I do go to dinner with you? Like I can't make that choice yet. Like I need you to talk to me and I need you to tell me these different things. And He couldn't understand what I was telling him. And I told him, I said, it's not my job to make you feel secure enough to let me know you want to come hang out. It's not my job to let you know that I want you around. I said, every single time that you have gotten a hold of me, I've never denied you coming over. I've never denied you of hanging out. This is the one time that I am, because I need to know why you want to take me out in public and take me out to dinner. Okay. Because now this is going to start getting into my life. If I'm seen around town with you, that means that's now a part of my life. Like, why are you with me? Why am I letting you take me out? You know, like these are important things for me, because no, I'm not just a random chick. Like
Right.
I am a very valued chick to myself. And if someone is going to be taking me out, I need them to understand like how valued I am. So, and yeah,
I mean, I hate to be
he
too
just
harsh
did
on the guy
not.
because I am really harsh on people. Like I just am. But like I feel like he was just looking with two eyes and not looking energetically at the situation. Like I'm not trying to make excuses for the dude, but I feel like he just didn't have a concept of how things work energetically. And
No,
if that is the case, then he has no business with you anyway.
well,
Like,
and
you
that is
ain't nobody's
where
mama.
he he finally like was able to, like, after about 2 weeks, he was able to come to me, and like he was just like, okay, so I feel like I gave you a bullshit answer when you asked me why I wanted to take you out. And he was like,
He
so I
Googled
feel
it.
like I should call and tell you now. And
Mhm.
he's like, it's because I was very attracted to you. I was highly attracted, like
He
you were
Googled it.
extremely attractive, and I just really like liked being around you. And I was just like, okay, so everything that you were doing was all surface level shit.
Right.
Like none of it was at the depth that I told you that I am. And I
Right.
told you from the very beginning that I am a highly spiritual woman. I can see through bullshit. I will call you out on your
Right.
bullshit.
Right.
And I am not somebody that you just get to like hang out with and sleep with. Like I am not going to sleep with you.
I
Like
love
that
this
is
so
not.
much because this is a perfect example of what we just talked about before was setting boundaries and allowing an organic, energetic container to bring you the reality that you want, right?
Yeah,
Because you were like, no, this is who I am. This is what I want. And then it was tested, right? Okay, we're going to send you this guy. And, it could be everything you want, like you used to have, or you can really be about what you say you about. And you were.
yeah,
So congratulations. This is an awesome
yeah.
story. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And I haven't heard from him since either, which is funny. But I just thought it was funny because like, no, dude, I gave you permission, like 100% permission to contact me. Like blow my phone up, motherfucker. I want you to. But yet he
Right.
didn't, because he would still think that I just didn't want to smother you. I just didn't want to annoy you. I
No.
just no. If you wanted to, you would have, motherfucker. You wanted
Right.
me to chase you. You wanted me to validate you. You
Exactly.
wanted me to make
Exactly.
you feel good. And you wanted me to boost your
Right.
fucking ego because I'm so attractive to
Or
you.
what I'm getting is
Fuck
like it's just like a
you.
putting like a feelers out because a lot of narcissists will do that. Like, oh, I just didn't want to bother you. You're not gonna bother me. I love it when blah 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 blah. And then they do that thing. And then they do it like incessantly. Like do it from a and you're like, oh my God, could you please stop? Well, I thought you said you love this. I thought you
Well,
said that this was your favorite thing.
the thing
Like,
about
not when
like,
you do it like this, fucker.
well,
You know?
when he made that statement of like the little things that he had done to help out and everything, like
Mhm.
when he had made the statement that he thought that that was enough, to me that immediately took me into this place of like, oh, so you were doing those things to get
So you
something in return.
Mhm.
You weren't
Of
actually
course.
doing those things out of an act of love or generosity. Like you were literally doing them to get something from me. That is a no-go. Like that's 100% no go. That's not gonna happen. Sorry,
Yeah.
but no.
And I mean, honestly, if he really was interested in you on a spiritual and energetic level, it would have been like, how how could I infuse myself with you? Can you teach me? Like, what can I learn from you to
Right.
get on your level so that I can play with you on that level, right? Like
Yeah.
if he was really worthy of you and if he really understood, and this goes for anybody, if he really understood like what it what not even what it takes, what the benefit of a relationship like this could be,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
a container that is fueled with eros and sex magic and like constant attention. Like if you understand what the payoff of that could be, there's no way you would
Oh,
fuck it up. I know I got chills.
the,
There's no way.
the
There's
person
no
that I
way you would
want.
screw it up. There's no way you would screw it up. Couldn't. You wouldn't.
Right. No, the person that I want, like, I think wants exactly that. Like, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost 100% sure. But I refuse to actually like step out and say anything to him. Like, I'm like, no, if this is the one, like, he's literally gonna feel it. He's gonna fucking sense it. He's gonna know it, and he's gonna start coming after me. But I'm not gonna say anything. Like, I see it, and like I keep getting nudges from my angels, but I'm like, no, I don't have to do any more chasing. Like, I've already been doing the chasing for 40 years and
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Now I get to be chased, I get to be pursued, and I get to be like, yeah, that, like, I don't know.
Well, what gets
If
tricky,
they want it, they're gonna make the moves. They're gonna make the effort, you
right?
know.
Right.
If you want a job that you've been dreaming of, you do the work to get that job, right?
Hmm.
Well, why shouldn't you do that when it comes
Well, you
to
don't
the
just put
wife
on the
you want?
suit either. You become the person
Yeah.
who is that job, who does that job. You can't just put on the outfit and be like, I'm ready for my first day. Like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't quite work like that. What gets tricky for me in situations like this, in like a scouting type situation where I'm like, oh, well, maybe this person, I could have a relationship on some level with this person. Because like I said, when it's my person, oh, they're just gonna walk up and I'm just gonna know, right? But when it gets to the level of like, what can I actually scratch all that? Because I've just figured it out. Like, shit. It's like all those people that are like tricky to me are people who actually need my help. Like they actually need my medicine. They need an up level, right? And they're
Yeah.
drawn to me or I'm drawn to them because of that. And just because of the way society works, we're like living in a tender swipe left, swipe right type society. It gets confused for like, oh, they just want to smash or whatever. But what gets tricky about that for me is when you do the kind of work we do and you can speak to someone's soul without them knowing, is that usually when you speak to someone's soul, you're speaking to like the highest version of them. You're speaking to the version of them with the most integrity and the most honor, right? Because their soul is the ideal of who they want to be and who they can become without the filters and the conditioning. So I know at first when I would tap in to other people, I'd be like, wow, they're so awesome. I
Hmm.
freaking love them.
Hmm.
And now it's like, oh, hell no. That's literally, like they say, in relationships, you had just have that representative, that person it's literally just like that. It's that representative. It's the highest self that I'm seeing and that I'm talking to. And I got myself into some real jams that way. Real jams. Yeah.
Hmm.
But now it's a little different. I don't I don't go for it. I don't fall for it anymore, so to speak.
Right.
I just kind of do this energetic thing where I pat him on the head and like, you can find me on the internet if you need me. and just carry on about my day. Like I'm right there on the internet. I have like two different websites. Like I'm all over the place. Just come find me if you need me. And that's it, you know? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't want a first date. Like I want a trip to the Maldives. Like I'm telling you,
Fuck yes.
when he
Fuck
appears, there
yes.
is no doubt. Like we're not going to the Cheesecake Factory.
No, and
We're
honestly, like
gonna go fuck on a beach for a week straight. Like,
I just
period.
had that conversation. I was like, I have a feeling that the person that comes into my world, like, it's literally gonna be like one and done. Like, we're like, are you ready for this? Okay, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And we're all in from that moment. And I feel like that is exactly the relationship that is coming. But I think that it is also crucial for me to pay attention to my own, like, okay, what are the patterns that I used to do, because like we have to make sure that those are all broken, that those aren't, gonna carry on over. So make sure that you're not doing these different things. And yeah, I don't know. I think this last person that tried, like, I think he tried. I don't really know. Because he didn't make
He
much
tried
effort.
something. It may not have been trying to do what you wanted to do, but
Right. Well, like the like he took me to lunch and like wanted to take me out. Cool. I specifically said lunch because I didn't want it to be like I hope you don't think that like you're taking me out for some like romantic thing. Like I'm going to meet up with you because you wanted to meet me. So we are meeting up, and yeah, we go to lunch. And at the end of lunch, first red flag, he's like, well, I wish you wanted to come and take a nap.
a nap. Really? That's like
I'm like,
the
damn
6 a.m. Can I come cuddle?
it. This
Child, we
was
know what you
like,
want.
this was a great lunch, and like the
You ruined
conversation
it.
was good,
You
and like
ruined
the
my
energy
lunch,
is
sir.
good. Why did you have to fucking throw up a red flag of wanting to fucking sleep with me? I don't care if you think that it's just cuddling and napping.
But I
Bullshit,
mean,
motherfucker.
honestly, the way I am, and I know this sounds like all kind of stuck up, but like, of course you want to sleep with me. Of
Yeah,
course you do.
of
Duh.
course. But why does that have to be like the
At
first
the magic
thing that you want?
number.
We just met. Like we just met. It took the last guy that I was seeing. It took him like probably seven like ish
Dance,
dates
days.
before I was like, okay, you
I
know
was thinking
what?
you were
I
gonna
think
say
you should
minutes or
grab your
hours, so I guess it's
pajamas
okay.
and you're staying the night. Like I want you to stay the night. But I
Wait, you
was,
did want him to
I
stay
have
the
to be the
night?
one that was 100%. No, this is past,
Oh,
not the dude that just took me to lunch.
okay.
This is the other, like, months ago.
Okay.
No, after like we had been seeing each other for quite some time, like, yeah, I was like, I want you to stay the night. So it was after that that like things just started going, that like, okay, nope, I need you to be more consistent. Like we're not like, you're not developing some sort of like friends with benefits type of thing. Like that's not what we're doing here. If you want me, like you want all of me, not just this part. So, but yeah. No, like it's just, I think it's funny that that is exactly where somebody goes. And even if they want a spiritual woman, like if you want a spiritual woman, you have to understand that like you're not going to get all the perks of just a regular woman. Like you're
Well,
going to literally have
that
to
and then
crawl.
like
Um,
you can't just run up. You can't just run up on me like that. Like, look, I have a long ass lineage all the way back to primordial mud of entities and ancestors and guides that have to meet you. I mean, a literal fucking army. Like, you gotta talk to them. Like, ain't no way you go pull up on me and we're gonna have sex within like 2 hours. Like, I mean, here, like. I wouldn't mind having like a sex magic roster. Like, hey, I need you to come over. I need your dick. Period. And that's it, and
Right?
that's fine. Okay? Like come over. I'm doing a ritual. I need you to come over. Like that would be cool. That would be cool. But I feel like those are
I
gonna
need
be
your
like the
tool.
younger guys, right? Like they're the ones that are into like the ooh, magic yoni witch chick, like every fucking time. And like I gotta be really careful with that because like I'm almost 50 and my son's 24, and I can't be with anybody that's like younger than like 32, you know? So like I'm getting on that age where like the 32-year-old guys, unless they're like really awesome, they're gonna be like a bro dude that smells like the thrift store, right? Like that's that category. So I just don't even worry about it. I'm like, you know what? Just fucking just never mind. Just just send me my psychic connection and yeah, that's what that's what I'm allowing in and that's pretty much it. Because the other shit is
Right.
just not worth my time. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it to me for that good morning text. That shit kind of gets on my fucking nerves, low key. So do what y'all will with that fucking information. But like it really gets on my nerves, like the good morning every morning. Like you just asked me this yesterday. My fucking day is awesome. It's always
No,
awesome.
I want random jokes throughout the day. I want
I
silly,
want
like
memes. I
silly
want
messages.
weird
Exactly. I
videos.
want stupid videos. I want me. I want the shit that I do. Like, please, like match me here.
I want a picture of
I
a
don't.
flower that says, "Hey, this reminds me of you." You know,
Right,
like
exactly.
shit
Like
like
I
that.
want some sort of effort, some sort of thought. Like put thought into what you're doing, not just I want random texts,
Right.
yes, but no,
Right.
just the good morning. That's definitely not.
Yeah. So bottom line, fellas, is you really got to up your game with us spiritual chicks. You got to either up your game or you can't have us. Period. Period.
Pretty
That's
much.
that's just how it
We can rock
goes.
your world, but you
Just
first
how it
gotta
goes.
you gotta
You
make
know
us
what? I
want to
don't
rock
even
it.
think it's like our magical yoni. Like our yoni
No,
is
I'm not
magical.
talking about that.
But I think it's more of the energy of the safety
Exactly.
and protection like that we carry within ourselves, not
Yes.
because we cast it upon ourselves, but just because we know who the fuck we are. Just that knowing and that authenticity of knowing who the fuck we are in this world is like a rock. It's like for them, it's like they're floating in the middle of the ocean, like barely treading water, and then all of a sudden they just like land on this rock. And it's like, yes. Yes. And I think that is why that their lower human will lie, cheat, and fucking steal, including to do all that to us in order to stay with us, you know, because it's just that pull. It's that pull. And
Yeah.
it's always, you know, I know we talk a lot about the narcissist and but they're the ones who need it the most. Those babies need the
Hmm.
healing the most. You know what I mean? Because their shit is
Every man
really
I've ever
fucked
loved
up.
was a narcissist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're the ones who need
Every
our
woman
medicine the
that
most.
I've been with. Uh, Nicole wasn't, but yeah, that was my highest pick was always the narcissists.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And
But
it's
I
like,
don't blame them. I don't blame them because, now that like I'm single and I'm happy single, um, I recognize like I see the things that people see in me and that the men that I've been with, like I see what they see and I love it. So I don't blame them. And that's not putting myself on a pedestal. That is just being like 100% real with myself
just being
and
honest.
like
Yeah.
yeah, and I am a fucking goofball and I love how I am and I love how I am with other people. And like even though that I think that my life is boring, I'm really not boring. like
Mhm.
like I'm pretty consistent when it comes to the goofiness, the silliness, the lovey-dovey and all that kind of stuff. And so um yeah, I don't know. I think my partner is going to be just as silly and goofy. I need a sense of humor.
Yeah, for
If I
sure.
don't have humor, then
It doesn't even
yeah,
have to be like their sense of humor. They just have to have space for mine. You know what I mean? Because mine is, it's a lot. It's a
yeah.
freaking lot. And it's off the cuff all the time. But I don't think we're boring. I don't think living a spiritual life equates to being boring. I think that we just have to expand our perception of what is so much. Like, in other words, we're not just seeing life like I was talking about. He's just looking with these eyes, not this one. It's like our perspective of life, once you start to allow certain things in and make them a part of your reality, then you don't just see this physical plane, you see the spiritual, you see the astral, you see the energetic, you see like all these different bodies and all these different timelines. And I feel like a lot of times, since we can't really express that too openly a lot of the time, it's just kind of like a yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh. So like we sort of like seem just chill and boring on like an average level, right? Like if you don't really know what's going on,
Right.
it's really it looks really boring on the outside, but
I
it
don't
is.
know. I don't know. I don't think that anybody could ever like look at my life and think that it's that boring. I mean, when I'm at home in my own home, it might seem boring, but no, like I'm randomly doing, I don't know. I'm
And then
fucking
that's
weird.
another thing. We're
But
comparing boring to like what we used to live, which is literally like we're talking about like a Tarantino movie. So of
yeah.
course anything is gonna be boring.
Well,
Anything is going to be
um
boring after all that. Of course it will.
so no, I don't know if I sent you this video or not, but it was this video of this guy and his friend saying like when regular people go out into the woods, they go for bonfires and getting drunk. This is what me and my friend do. And he's like standing inside of a singing bowl and he puts a singing bowl on top of
Yes.
his head and has him like ringing it. It was the
Yes.
funniest thing. And I was like, see, this is my life. This is the weird shit that we do. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Uh, I love it.
Oh,
That's
after
why
I
I
quit
can't wait for a
smoking.
spiritual man because, like, with me and my spiritual craziness, like, and if a spiritual man gets involved, and I don't mean just like a man that says that, he believes in, no, I mean a spiritual man. I mean a divine fucking masculine. That is the only next person that is getting into my world is a divine
Well, like they
masculine.
got to be able
I
to
cannot wait
understand
for
like
it
me being
because
like, I need to go ground. I need to go outside and talk to a tree, right? Or like I'm literally talking to people's pets all day. Like, what? You want me to tell your mom you like laying on the orange sweater? Okay, your dog wants me to tell you that he likes laying on the orange sweater, shit like that. And then not to mention, like I was doing this at work the other day and they're used to me by now, but I'm like, why do I smell great bubblicious? Is that significant to anybody? Wait, what? Who? Who's got a grandpa named James? Like, like it's constantly shit like that. Like, and
yeah.
in order to be comfortable and be relaxed and allowing and flowing in my feminine, I have to be able to know that I'm safe. I'm safe to say shit like that on a regular fucking basis, Like, oh, the barista who made my coffee she was angry about her boyfriend not showing up when he was supposed to last night. Shit like that. Like it's just I have to have somebody who that's in the realm of possibility for. They'll be like, "Oh, really, babe? You want to trade? I'll drink that coffee."
Right.
Like that's the type of shit I fucking need.
Yep. Absolutely.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy. This life ain't easy.
Hmm.
I remember one time I was talking with my brother, and he's like, "Why are you like this? You talking all this crazy shit. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you." And I was like, "Listen up, motherfucker. This life chose me, okay? I didn't choose it." And it's the truth, though. It's literally the truth. Okay. We about that life. We about that life. That thug life, baby. Okay. Anyway. You know?
Uh,
Okay. I'm gonna write down this time because I think that was like a bomb ass episode.
I think so too.
And we're at like an
I don't
hour
think
and
we need
50
any more
minutes.
on it.
Also, okay, so we have last week's episode, which was like 2 hours, which I don't know. I think we can get two out of it. I
Mhm.
haven't started working with it yet, honestly, but I'm gonna.
Yeah,
That's
neither have
how
I.
I usually
I haven't
will.
even opened it.
Oh, it's fine. I will usually start like after today. I will start working on, like the next one. But yeah. So I feel like that gives us like 3 episodes in the whole. And also, what do we consider a season? Like, like when are we gonna move into season two? I'm thinking like 8, 9 episodes, because that's usually how it is on TV, or does that sound
So will we
okay?
take a break for a few weeks or what?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Because I have some other shit that I need to start putting some focus into as well. My plate's getting a little crowded, but like I don't, this is my first commitment, so I wanna I wanna continue to do this. But I got a download for like another, I don't know if it's gonna be a program or a course or just an ebook, like of journaling. I don't know, but it's gonna be something coming up soon. And I'm also taking some more courses, and then I'm like trying to like rebrand my website, and I'm trying to get everything set up with my website where people can buy a Reiki session and then get, automated emails after, which sounds a lot simpler than it. Oh my God, can we stop?